welcome to 66 on 66. I'm going to show you a little graphic here real quick, because that's how I roll. That's a little practical graphics right there. 66 on 66. Pause if you want to. It is a one shot today. One shot with a couple of previous takes, but it is what it is. So, speaking of practical effects, I'm using a 21, 22-year-old camera, and just to prove it, I'm using a little djembe as a stand, piece of foam to hold the camera, because you don't want to know why the camera doesn't have a camera holder anymore, because it got used too much when it first was incarnated as a camera. So, in the background is a cross. Jesus is not on the cross, he's risen, and he's seated at the right hand of the Father. And today we're going to talk about creation, where preparation, which John 14:3 says, I go to prepare a place for you. What does that mean? Well, our lifetime here in this dimension, on this planet, and this life, is preparation. It's all preparation. I didn't know that when I was younger, so of course I was led down a path by big conglomerate religion, inadvertently, you know. My parents didn't know any better than I did. Otherwise I would have known that Jesus is not on the cross. Anyways, that point is that there's some religions who preach and show Jesus still suffering on the cross, and I found out there's a relationship to be had with him and not a religion. So the process is the preparation. God will seed a dream in you, and it will soon start to reveal itself as you go closer and closer and closer to the goal of what he has for you. So in realizing there was preparation going on, and it started at birth for me, so I'm going to get a little into the camera here and go over the birthplace of my life here on this planet. It was Chicago, Illinois. So there's nearly 10, if not more, references to places I lived right off Route 66, which brings me to the title, Living on Route 66 is the title. I better write that down. On Route 66. So, yeah, I was born in Chicago, moved out to Tucson when I was 13. Tucson doesn't count as a town on Route 66, but I was baptized in Colton, which is right off Route 66. I lived in Glendora, and my time in California, I lived in Venice for 6 months with my first wife. I lived in Azusa. I lived in Phelan, California when I was in a men's home when I got saved in 2002. I lived in Kingman for a short time with my father after my father moved to Kingman. And big shout out to my dad, who led me to Christ through all my trials and tribulations of resisting the religion and accepting the relationship. So after Kingman, me and my second wife moved to Joseph City, and oh yeah, don't forget Flagstaff. Somehow my dad saw fit to send me to live with my older brother for a short period of time, who lived near NAU in Flagstaff, and was there for like 6 months, and whatever kind of coaching my older brother had, I'm sure he has an effect on my life, because living in Flagstaff was an experience. It was a winter time, so that was a great experience. So, and currently I'm here, you're here, the video is being produced right here in a studio on the corner of Donnelly and Route 66 in Winslow, Arizona. So been here 6 years, and which leads me to the dream. Once the dream is seated in you, you will come to find that the gifts that God gave you will start to come to pass. and I procrastinated doing this first video, and I was like, you know, when God, when? So finally, being prepared to verbally give everything in a one shot to explain why this channel is what it is, and some of the things it's going to do, which is explore different creations here in Winslow, explore creations along Route 66, along the towns, just that open fielding and some of the farms and stuff that we're going to see as we go forth. There's a lot of creative artists here who live and have retired. Some are still in business doing things. Some are writers, some are directors, some are musicians. Some have played with, you know, famous bands. Some, you know, so we're going to explore that. We're going to do interviews and see how God has affected or impacted their creative process, coming to know who they are in Christ, and or just as a creative person. Some people may not claim Christ, but Christ does authorize all these creations for His glory, not for ours. So as we go forth, you know, I'm just going to share a few things that's been going on in the studio. We've been working on a second EP album. The band is called Vintage. Some of you locally here in town already know that. Some of you watching for the first time are, you know, oh, okay, well, where's that? Well, we have a Vintage fan page in Facebook, and it is a Vintage Christian band. Log on, see what we're all about. Follow if you want to. But just so you know, you're a creative person. You've been given a creative gift somewhere deep, latently hidden inside you. If you're not knowing this already, you do have this gift. Everybody has it. It just hasn't been exercised yet. I'm going to be 61 in a few days, tomorrow. So it is at a very late stage in my life, but I mean, God used Colonel Sanders when he was 65 to create Kentucky Fried Chicken. And he literally, there's a documentary statement of him saying, Lord, you need to change my filthy mouth. So if that was one of the things that needed to change before Kentucky Fried Chicken became what it was, then that was part of the change. So guaranteed there will be change from this day forward. From the time I accepted Christ till now has been change. So this is just a statement of how this channel is starting, what the channel is going to do. Let's do a quick little walk around and complete this one shot here in the studio. So here